Good morning to all. In this class, I'm going to explain about LR parsers uh, and some differences between this LR parsers and LL parsers uh, with in continuation with the previous class. Last classes, I explained you in detail about the various types of LL parsers and started with the LR parser. Now we'll see the differences between these two, and then slowly we go to the different types of LR parsers also. In the LR parser, just we started with the shift reduced parsing. What is the meaning of that LR parsing? Mainly we are using the two techniques, shift and reduce. Now in detail we'll see the differences between LL and LR. The LL parsers in particularly comes under the category of top-down parsers, and LR parsers are come under the category of bottom-up parsers. And mainly the LL parsers will be classified as recursive descent parsers. The recursive descent parsers can be containing the recursive functions or with the non-recursive functions also. And one more, the basic feature of the LL parsers when dealing with the top-down parsers are it is containing brute force methods. That means backtracking. That means whenever it founds the previous production application of the previous production is not leading to the required string, then we are going back. That means cancelling the previous action and going back and replacing the previous production with the other production. That particular thing is not necessary in the LR parsers. It doesn't require the backtracking. It can directly use the dynamic programming and removing from right to left replacements, and easily can be parsed from a required string to the start symbol, right. So the example of this particular LL parser or LR parser can be taken with the same grammar. Let the grammar is S derives AC in one production, and the production is A derives terminal symbols AB, where S is the start symbol, capital A is non-terminal. Of course, the start symbol also comes under non-terminal only. Then ABC are terminal symbols. If the input given symbol is input string is ABC, the parser generated by LL parser is shown in the left side of the slide, where it starts from the start symbol S. The start symbol is replaced by the available production AC. Then AC is replaced by AB. Then finally we are getting the ABC as output string. Whereas in the LR parsers, the derivation is right to left. So it identifies the input string ABC. First, it identified substitute for terminals AB with non-terminal A. Then non-terminal A and leftover terminal symbol C was identified as a string and replaced by the starting symbol S. So that means LL parser, we are starting with the root non-terminal starting symbol and towards the required input string ABC. Whereas in the LR parsers, we are starting with input string ABC and reducing towards start symbol S. So that is the basic thing we identified in the previous classes. In addition with this particular thing, in detail we'll see what is the difference between LL and LR parsers. In the LL category, the first L is indicating left to right scan, and second L is indicating leftmost derivation. Whereas in the LR parsers, L means once again left to right scan only, but right is now rightmost derivation. In the LL parsers, parser is constructed from the top to down manner, whereas in the LR parsers, parser is constructed in the bottom up manner from leaf nodes to the root node. In the LL parsers, it starts from the root terminal, that means the start symbol on the stack, whereas the LR parsers uh, ends with the non-terminal on the stack, ends with the non-terminal on the stack, whereas the LL starts with the non-terminal on the stack. In the LL parsers, when the stack is empty, that means it contains dollar, then the parsing will be ended. Whereas LR parser, when the stack is empty, that means dollar is on the stack, the parsing action will be started. In the LL parsers, use of stack for designating what is still to be expected. The stack purpose of the stack is for designating what is still to be expected, whereas in the LR parsers, the stack is for designating what is already seen. What is already seen. In the LL parsers, we are building the parse tree from top down, whereas in the LR parsers, we are building the parse tree from bottom up. And in LR parsers, we are continuously popping a non-terminal of the left side of the production of the stack and pushes the corresponding right side of the production and pushes the corresponding right side of the production. That means we are identifying left side of the production non-terminal. Whenever you identify left side of a production non-terminal on the stack, we are replacing that non-terminal with right side of the production. We are replacing that non-terminal with the right side of the production. In the LL case, non-terminal is replaced by right side of the production. Whereas in the LR parsers, we try to recognize the right hand side of a production as handle on the stack. Whenever we identify a right side of the production also called as a handle on the stack, the right side of the production is popped up and pushes its corresponding non-terminal of production onto the stack. The LR parsers, we are removing right side production and placing left side production. Whereas in the LL, we are removing left side of the production and pushing right side of the production. Okay, that is the difference. LL, left is replaced by right. In the LR, right is replaced by left. Right. That what it means is, in the LL, we are expanding the non-terminals. We are expanding the non-terminals. Whereas in the LR, we are reduces to non-terminal. In the LR, we are reduced to non-terminal, whereas in the LL, we are expands the non-terminal, right? In the LL, reads the terminals when it pops off the stack, pops one of the stack, that means one by one. In the LL, we reach the terminals when it pops one of the stack, whereas the LR reads the terminals while it pushes them onto the stack. In the LR, we are reads the terminal when it pushes onto the stack, whereas in the LL, we reach the terminals when it pops off the stack. In the LL, pre-order traversal of parse tree will be built. Okay, we use pre-order traversal of the parse tree, or in LR, we are using the post-order traversal of the parse tree. In the LL, we may use backtracking or dynamic programming, whereas LR, we are not using the backtracking, we use this dynamic programming only. In the LL, we are the example for the LL grammars or LL parsers, LL0 or LL1, whereas the example for LR parsers are LR0, SLR1, LALR1, CLR1. We'll see what is the abbreviations of these things there. In the LR parsers, now the LR parser, we know it is non-recursive. We are not at all using the recursive functions here. The simple representation of LR parser are also represented as shift reduce parsers, because the basic operations are shift and reduce, and also comes under the category of bottom-up parser. It uses, that means it means the LR parsers uses wide range of context-free grammars, which makes it the most efficient syntax analysis technique. It uses wide class of context-free grammars. That is the main thing. Whereas in the LL parsers, we are using the limited context-free grammars. These LR parsers, also known as LRK parsers, LRK parsers, as we know what is the meaning of this L. L stands for the left to right scanning. R means rightmost derivation, nothing but derivating in reverse of the given input strings or productions. Where K is the number of input symbols of look ahead used to make the decisions. LR parsers are classified into 4 types: LR0 parsing, SLR parsing, CLR parsing, and LR parsing. We'll see all these things in the coming slides and as well as the coming classes. In particularly, when dealing with the LR parsers, there are 3 widely used algorithms available for constructing an LR parser. Simply, the first type is called as SLR1 parsers or simple LR parsers. Works on small class of grammars. That is the reason the name simple LR parser. Here it contains only few number of states. Hence very small table it contains, or it generates very small table. It is simple and fast. The parse table construction is simple and fast. The second classification of these algorithms are LR1, or simply we can say LR parsers also. These LR parsers works on complete set of LR1 grammars, generates large tables and large number of states. As it contains large number of states and a large table, the construction of LR parser is little bit slower, but it is completing or covering large set of grammars. The third type is LALR1, also called as look ahead LR parser. Works on intermediate size of grammar. Number of states are as equivalent as to SLR parsers. We see the algorithms whatever we are implementing with the previous LL or LR introduced parser. LR algorithms requires stack, input, output, and parsing table. In all types of LR parsers, the input output stack are same, but parsing table generation is different. The generation of or building of parsing table is different. In the input buffer is used to indicate the string to be passed, followed by a dollar symbol to indicate end of the input string. We are using the stack to contain a sequence of grammar symbols, that means non-terminals and terminals, and at the bottom it contains a dollar sign to indicate all input symbols are processed or we successfully reached the bottom of the stack. The parsing table is generally two-dimensional array, contains the actions, okay, or go to the part, contains action part or go to part, okay, right. It's LR1 parser involving a few basic steps. We are going to see in the next class onwards specific parsing algorithms. In particular, all the parsing algorithms contains the following steps. For any given input string, first of all, the first step we need to do is we need to create or we need to write a context-free grammar. Then, in the given or written context-free grammar, check ambiguity of the grammar. After performing this operation, after eliminating all ambiguities, add an augmented production or productions in the given grammar. Here we will see what is the meaning of augmented grammar in this slide itself, right? The purpose also we'll see. After adding the augmented production in the given grammar, the next action is we need to create a canonical collection of LR0 items. Now we'll see what is the canonical collection of LR0 items. Okay, right. After performing this canonical collection of LR0 items, now we need to draw a data flow diagram. We need to draw a data flow diagram for the generated DFA, deterministic finite automata. Now we are implementing here the automata theory also here, DFA. For the required DFA, we are writing the data flow diagram. That means nothing but we are creating DFA, data flow deterministic finite automata for the previous step generated LR0 items, nothing but canonical collection of items, LR0 items. Finally, we are constructing LR1 parsing table. Finally, we are constructing LR1 parsing table. That all these above steps we'll see in the coming classes. Right. Now, in this particular class, we'll see what is the meaning of this add augmented production in the given grammar. What is the meaning of adding or add augmented production in the grammar? What is the meaning of augmented grammar is augmented grammar G bar will be generated if we add one or more productions in the given grammar G. Okay, what it means is in addition with the given productions in the grammar G, we are adding one or more additional productions. In particularly, we are adding this one or more number of additional productions to help the parser to identify when to stop the parsing, and announces the acceptance of the input, So for example, in the given grammar, we are having two simple productions, S derives AA and A derives terminal A and non-terminal A or B. Here the thing is, we are adding one more production, S dash derives S. Okay, that indicates the S is now not the complete start symbol. So we are identifying, even though it is a start symbol, whenever we are reaching the S start symbol, then by replacing with another production S bar, we are saying we successfully reached the start symbol of the grammar. Then the parser can stop now. Instead of stopping with the S, because the grammar, the number of productions may contain start symbol S on more than one production. Given on single production, the S also can be repeated more than one time. So we need to identify when to stop finally. That when to stop finally will be identified by the production S bar derives S. Okay, that means S can be repeated on the right side of production n number of times, but S bar will appear only once. Okay, right. This is the